Do you have alcohol? Do you want alcohol? Do you want to save some Benjamins and hangovers? Well, here on the Bard's Bar, here on Bartending with the Bar, we can't speak because that's what our specialty is, good old bards. And also, we're going to show you how to save a ton of money because you only need 5 basic bottles to start a bar. Most people go out and buy a bunch of bottles that you'll never use. So if you know anyone who likes to save money and is about to bartend or host or do anything like that, this might be a video that you want to share with them. So we're going to start with the basic 5 bottles. So I would go with a whiskey, a gin, a vodka, a tequila, and a rum. I of course not order these in the same, but let me go into some good choices for them and workhorses depending on your flavor and your style. By the way, let me just shuffle my money. So if you need pint glasses or travel mugs for hot summer drinks, I've got merch. I'd appreciate the support. This feels really stupid stuff. Anyways. Okay, so jokes aside, now that I feel like a car salesman, we're gonna start with your basics. We're gonna say whiskeys. My workhorse is actually Granddad's Bottled and Bond, which means it's 100 proof. It's more than the standard, like 35-40%. So it is alcoholic. Don't get me wrong on that. So if you have people who are from Wisconsin or just Irish or whatever, Bottled and Bonded is always good because it has a lot more flavor and it's not watered down. You can also just use less and keep the extra flavor because it's a condensed flavor, but it's also more potent. So I like my old Granddad's Bottled and Bond for a whiskey. I also am a huge fan, depending on the night, of Powers, which is one of the only oldest companies to actually have survived one of the famines. So this is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, I'll get into a history on a different episode, actual Irish whiskey. So I'm a fan of Powers. It has a really good flavor to it. Granddad's has a little bit more spice to it. If you can't find those, much easier is a Jack Daniel's. I go with a rye because personally I like ryes. Ryes have a little bit more of a spicy note to them. So if you like heavy flavors, like strong barbecues, maybe a little bit of like jalapenos or heat in your food, you'd probably want to go with a rye. But otherwise, just get a standard. Everyone I know that likes whiskey likes these in a mixed drink, so Jack Daniel's Rye, surprisingly good for a cheap name. I find it's better than the standard Jack Daniel's. But those are my whiskeys. I go through tons of Granddad's. If it's someone I like, I use Powers. But moving on. So gins. We've got a couple different types of gins. The kind that you normally see and Spike from Cowboy Bebop enjoys is Beefeaters, which Beefeaters is a London dry gin. Sometime I'll make the Prairie Oyster for you. It is a silly drink. Oh, my favorite is actually a gin. It is Gunpowder Irish Gin. And then I'd highly recommend for everybody, go with Boodles. The reason I picked these 3 to show you is London dry gins are for usually martinis, if I'm not mistaken. I personally don't use them for that, but I don't like London dry gin. So if you have a different palate than me, you might want that. London dries are a specific kind of gin. So it's like a completely different make from the others. Whereas I enjoy this super floral note of Irish gunpowder gin. So this is really good for flavor, for sipping, for enjoying. I don't usually mix it into drinks or cocktails. I sip it. It's one of those. Boodles, unlike the normal juniper, like drinking a pine tree kind of gin, Boodles is right down the middle. It's not over floral. It's not super tree barky. Like you don't have to sit there and worry about coughing up pine needles 20 minutes later. So Boodles is smooth, it's affordable, it's a big name, so it's in a lot of places. But a lot of people haven't heard of it because they don't advertise. Like, they don't have commercials of people drinking it. But highly recommend Boodles for your first bottle. It goes well with everything, and I have never found someone who doesn't like it, including people who don't like gin. So, Boodles is a crowd pleaser. Good middle ground. because when I pull it off the shelf, my friends know they shouldn't chug that stuff. Okay, so tequila. Not my favorite, although my brother showed me, actually in the Paladin episode, we had a little bit of tequila and it tastes like whiskey. Like, you can do tequila a lot of different ways, it just depends. Or sorry, you can do, not Espolón, mezcals, because mezcal is the rectangle, whereas square is the tequila. So, category versus tequilas are a specific type of mezcal. Nobody knows this in America because we drink it in bars and we pretend we're in college.
Is that with the reposados and everything?
Yeah, reposados are mezcals. They're super good. Reposados are usually more smoky. Good question, though. But as far as tequilas, my favorite is actually Espolón. That's why it's empty. It's a Texas tequila. As far as a tequila, it's definitely got the tequila taste and smell, but it's smoother, it's nice, it's apparently 100% agave, which I don't care about. Some people do. But I don't know, it's just a really good workhorse and it's nice in drinks. We emptied it for a reason, thought it was a fun margarita night. I still want to do a margarita episode, so if you want me to make one, request it in the comments. I would love to, but I gotta haggle somebody to give me the recipe. But anyways, Tres Agaves is my second up. That's only because I actually got it as a Christmas gift, but I know it's everywhere, so it's good. I forget what it, oh, it's got a lot more of the agave plant taste, so it's not my favorite, but as far as standard tequilas, I think it's pretty acceptable. I'm not a tequila guy, but I think this is pretty highly accepted elsewhere, so people who like tequila will probably like Tres Agaves. I go with Espolón, and I've never had a complaint about Espolón, even from someone who was a tequila snob. So, Tres Agaves is a little bit cheaper, but it's not by much. Tequilas are basically all the same. Vodka! So, vodka tastes all the same. No, it doesn't. So, each vodka has a completely different flavor to it, even though it's supposed to be distilled down to like 98% and then re-filtered back in with water, so that way it's completely pure and they're supposed to have no taste to them. That's full of crap. So the water that they have to cut back into it is a large part of the flavor. So if you like well water but you don't like city water, or you like filtered water but you don't like spring water or something like that, then you're gonna understand the difference between vodkas. Because some vodkas are made with potatoes. Some are made with wheat. Some are made with like other plants. Like basically any alcohol can be distilled down to a vodka. And so you have some weird craft vodkas out there. But I found, oddly, I use vodka in bulk when I'm doing crazy concoctions and mixology, so I buy the big ass bottles from Kirkland. So the Kirkland Signature American Vodka is my workhorse. It actually tastes pretty good. I don't know who they relabeled it from, but I like it. It's a good vodka, it's simple, it's still a vodka, so it's still gonna be vodka tasty. But it's better than potato vodka to me, even though I'm a potato. And like, I don't like Russian vodkas, I don't like Poland vodkas, like I've only had cheap stuff, so it's a little bit different. But if you're just looking to get vodka, you're just looking to get drunk, go to Costco, save yourself a bunch of money. This was like 12 or 13 bucks. Super cheap, super good. Just get it. Okay, Rums. Rums are Rums. We're going over here for this Rums. I was raised on rum. I was raised on rum and garbage red wines because my mom knew how to teach me how to not like alcohol. So that's a story for another time. But as far as Rums, I'm gonna recommend Abuelo's Añejo Reserva Especial. Anyways, Abuelo's is like a cheap rum, but it tastes really good. It's got a lot of flavor to it. It's got a really good punch. I really, really enjoy this. Since I found it, it's nice. It's not even 20 bucks for a bottle. I think it's like 17 or 18 here, but depends on where you go. Prices are gonna vary wherever. But it's nice, it's spicy, it's smooth, it's got a lot of vanilla and like caramel notes. Like it's actually super its own thing, which is really nice. It's got a lot of character to it. And then as far as other rums, if it's your first bar, I'd say if you're trying to be fancy, go for abuelos. If not, and you're just trying to make drinks or you're younger, whatever, you can get Captain Morgan. Like, honestly, this is honestly what I was raised on. Captain and Coke, Coke Libre. It's like, my mom knows how to order it in many countries. Captain and Rum. Captain and Rum. Ha, strong drink. Captain and Coke is a super good idea. You should learn how to make one because it's 2 ingredients. I should actually do an episode on simple drinks like that. Anyways. But yeah, your workhorse rum, probably Captain Morgan. You can get it everywhere. I would highly recommend taking a look, seeing if you can find abuelos, which is grandpa. Like, I'm just a big fan of it. Super big fan. But that's not all 5 types. We have a bonus type. So, 5-bottle bar. But I've had people turn away from my bar. So I have this itty bitty bottle. This itty bitty bottle. So, this stupid little bottle is my secret 6th recommendation. Once you get your 5 bottles all the way, I've had people honestly ask me for a drink, and they didn't like my selection, and they asked for a scotch. Scotch is a whiskey. People can be super snobby about this, they can be dicks about it. I'd say after your first 5, get a scotch, like just a scotch. This is Hennessy. I honestly do not like the taste of scotch. It tastes like old ladies. I just don't like scotch. Ironically, one of my favorites is actually a scotch. This puppy that's always on my shelf is a Lagavulin 16. Not a fan of the, I think it's a 12 or an 8 year. I go straight for the 16 because it has a lot more character to it. Lagavulin is a single malt Islay whiskey. Super good. It is a scotch, oddly enough. But if you want to taste burning bogs and like drink a campfire, that is Lagavulin. I pour a shot glass of it and I sip that over a couple hours because it's super strong. But it reminds me of my childhood, like inhaling campfires and being stupid and burning a lot of stuff we shouldn't have. So to me, it's mostly nostalgia. Like, the taste is potent. So this is not a workhorse. Get Hennessy's or some kind of standard scotch. Just get a bottle. Like, I have this. This was actually a gift to me from a friend. Shout out to James. And yeah, like, this is all I've had and this is all I've needed. So the one person who's going to be a dick and say, oh, I need a scotch because I have my pinky out, yeah, they can be uppity and whatever. They don't get my Lagavulin. They get Hennessy. But I don't have affiliate links because I'm pretty sure you can't put affiliate links on alcohol. So if you're the kind of person who likes to donate and support aspiring artists, I have a Patreon. I would love if you guys jumped over there. I'll put a link below. There's always a link below, but patreon.com/bardandcompany. Pretty easy to find me. But other than that, now that you have the bottles, I'm gonna look over here. So now that you've got the 5 basic bottles and you're covered as far as what to drink, how do you make the drinks? Well, I'm here to save you from an expensive box, because I have an expensive box. So I'll go into the first 5 tools you need without getting all the extra expensive junk you don't need, because I've made mistakes. Standard recommendation lists suck, so let's save you a bunch of money. Let's get the tools you actually will use, not the stuff that will sit in cardboard for years. Learn from my mistakes. But other than that, you guys have a great day, and thanks again to my subscribers.